It is extremely clear right now that with the partnership between Tesla, X, and XAI, these three entities combined have the necessary ingredients to solving artificial general intelligence. So the question is, how would any other company on the planet, any other group of companies, catch up? This does seem like a compelling argument, but must go through a formal Tesla board process and independent valuation. Now, in case you guys are listening audio only, that subscriber was... So in case you haven't heard, artificial intelligence is a big deal. And when I say big deal, I mean big deal. This from ARK Invest's Big Ideas 2023 report regarding technological convergence, creating the potential for super exponential growth. According to ARK's research, 5 innovation platforms are converging to create unprecedented growth trajectories. Artificial intelligence is the most important catalyst, its velocity cascading through all other technologies. They then go on to explain the scale of the opportunities due to these technological convergences. Again, the most significant driver and catalyst of which is artificial intelligence, could scale to combined market valuations of 200 trillion, that's trillion with a T, dollars by 2030. In other words, a very small opportunity that you should probably ignore. Just wanted to focus on this little tidbit. Artificial intelligence. Computational systems and software that evolve with data can solve intractable problems, automate knowledge work, and accelerate technology's integration into every economic sector. The adoption of neural networks should prove more momentous than the introduction of the internet. So, did you hear that? Were you listening? I hope so. By the way, you're currently listening on the internet. Did you notice that as well? In fact, your whole life probably revolves around the internet. And create tens of trillions of dollars of value. At scale, these systems will require unprecedented computational resources. More on this later. And AI-specific compute hardware should dominate the next generation cloud data centers that train and operate AI models. Any Tesla investors thinking to themselves, hang on, Dojo as a service? I thought so. Again, more on that in a moment. The potential for end users is clear. A constellation of AI-driven intelligent devices that pervade people's lives, changing the way that they spend, work, and play. The adoption of artificial intelligence should transform every sector, impact every business, and catalyze every innovation platform. So once again, obviously not a big deal and you should probably ignore it. It's important to understand, folks, that breakthroughs in AI can at first appear to be very narrow and specific, but in fact, super generalized and applicable where you may not expect. For example, AI chatbots will, quote, drive robotaxis. This is important. Tesla applies transformer neural networks introduced as a solution for language translation to help its vehicles understand complicated intersections and drivable pathways. Now, this news is about a year old, we know this, but at the time came as a huge surprise to many people. A breakthrough in AI regarding language translation was directly applicable to Tesla's FSD software, real-world AI. Consider that for a moment. What I'm getting at here, and what ARK are also pointing out, is that breakthroughs in AI are likely to be broadly applicable to industries, technologies that don't immediately seem apparent. So, companies who themselves are creating breakthroughs in artificial intelligence may find themselves having created something that is extremely valuable in a domain for which it was not originally created or intended. So just to timestamp this, the ARK Invest Big Ideas 2023 report was published early in 2023. The reason I mention this is because as we read through, those who've been keeping abreast of the latest developments in AI will be thinking, hey, wait, what? Really? That was only a year ago? Not even? Damn. Quote, generative AI made waves this year from DALL-E 2 to ChatGPT. These tools are improving the productivity of knowledge workers, e.g. around 2 times in the case of AI coding assistants. AI training cost declines continued at an annual rate of 70%. The cost to train large language models to GPT-3 level performance collapsing from 4.6 million in 2020 to 450,000 in 2022. We expect cost declines to continue at a 70% rate through 2030. Staggering. AI should increase the productivity of knowledge workers more than 4-fold by 2030, or put some of them entirely out of jobs. At 100% adoption, AI could increase global labor productivity by around $200 trillion, dwarfing the current $32 trillion total knowledge worker salaries. 2022 was a year of generative AI. Prompted by a short text, generative AI models can produce images, code, text, audio, and video. In less than 1 year, dozens of generative AI projects created models the progress from grainy images to high quality 3D models and videos. And looking at these images on screen now, let's just be honest, folks, the progress that's happened since with generative AI makes these look like children's drawings. It's just unbelievable. The latest DALL-E, Midjourney. Again, if you've been keeping up to date with what's happening, just consider the rate of progress. Regarding AI training costs plummeting, we heard earlier, in 2020, to train to GPT level 3 performance, $4.6 million. 2 years later, 2022, $450,000. ARC's forecast with a 70% annualized cost decline. That same capability, 2030, $30. So imagine the cost of something plummeting from $4.6 million to $30 in the span of a decade. Would that have implications? Something to ponder. And now, folks, we get to the meat and bones of this video. Proprietary data could create moats. High quality, domain-specific AI training data could result in winner takes most outcomes across vertical applications. Bit jargony, but I'll elaborate in a moment. Proprietary data generation, as in data that you have that no one else has, leads to better AI models, which leads to better products, which leads to more customers, which creates more proprietary data, which you get the point. It's a feedback loop, a flywheel. So let's pick a hypothetical random example. Let's just say there's a company called Tesla, obviously there's not, who have a product called full self-driving, which obviously they don't, who today have over 5 million robots on roads collecting data, proprietary data that no one else has, improving the capabilities of their AI models, making the product better, generating more customers, generating more data. Yeah, well, of course, as I mentioned, Tesla doesn't exist. They don't have FSD and they don't have 5+ million robots on roads. So this is all just a hypothetical example, but I'm sure it will illustrate the point anyway. If ARC's thesis is correct, that companies generating high quality domain-specific proprietary data could result in winner takes most outcomes, then this hypothetical company called Tesla, if they currently have an unassailable data lead, it's possible that they will take an outsized slice of the autonomy market and no one will catch up because no one is able to deploy more robots faster and collect more data than Tesla. Speaking of Tesla and AI and more hypothetical examples that definitely aren't real, anyone remember when xAI, Elon's new AI company, launched? And I looked on their website and I found this. Relation to X Corp. We, as in xAI, are a separate company from X Corp, the entity that owns X, formerly Twitter. But we'll work closely with X, formerly Twitter, Tesla, and other companies to make progress towards our mission. At the time, I highlighted this and posted this on X. So, about xAI. Tesla's a real-world data stream. Remember we talked earlier about proprietary data. Plus, X's real-time language stream, also proprietary data no one else can access. And by the way, in the interest of brevity, I didn't go into super detail, but if we're really clear, it's not just X's real-time language stream, but also images and video. Equals the ingredients for artificial general intelligence. Anticipating some people not really getting the point, to be clear, no one else has ingredients of the same quality, e.g. proprietary data, if they have them at all. Think about it. This was posted back in August. So we're going to continue to follow the breadcrumbs, folks. This from Elon earlier this month. Provided our vehicle AI computer is able to run the model, Tesla will probably have the most amount of true usable inference compute on Earth. Even in a robotaxi future, the cars will only be used for around 1/3 of the hours per week, leaving 2/3 of it for distributed inference, like SETI. For those getting lost in the nerdy jargon, Tesla's fleet of today around 5 million vehicles, in theory, could become money printers in the future, not just by autonomously driving people around from point A to point B as robotaxis, but for the other 2/3 of the day, if owners of these vehicles opt in and would like to get paid while they're asleep or at work or whatever, they could also, in essence, be on the other end of your AI queries. Unfortunately, there's no such company or product that happens to be associated with Tesla that would be able to run on Tesla vehicles, right? Oh wait, no, there is. We forgot this whole relation to X Corp thing, working closely with Tesla and other companies. That would be xAI. So, spoiler alert, in the future, if users opt in on Tesla's fleet, their Tesla vehicle could potentially be, in simple terms, plugged into Grok, xAI's large language model. Who saw that coming? So, stick with me, we're about to get to the main point of this video. This from Dave Lee a few days ago. I'd like to see a partnership between Tesla and xAI. 1. Tesla provides a monetary investment into xAI, as well as Dojo compute resources going forward. 2. XAI gives Tesla some equity and access to Grok AI going forward. This was reposted by Jason DeBolt. Quote, I'm 100% behind this. Many Tesla retail investors would love to have some skin in the game with XAI. I hope Elon considers this proposal. The man himself chiming in. We'll discuss with Tesla board. And then some guy with 3 first names posted this. Tesla investing in XAI is the no-brainer of no-brainers. Combined, Tesla plus XAI has the complete recipe for artificial general intelligence. Tesla has the compute, Dojo. The foundational building block of AGI is underway, that's FSD. They have 5 million plus data collecting robots, vehicles. Remember we talked earlier about proprietary data. Plus, they're working on the Optimus humanoid robot. And Tesla's already transplanted the brain of FSD into the bot. After all, the vehicles themselves are robots. They just have wheels as opposed to arms and legs. XAI has the X data stream. If you solve for language through the X data stream, plus real-world AI via the vehicle's FSD and the humanoid robot, that's the recipe for artificial general intelligence. Remember earlier we talked about winner takes most opportunities, and that being a result of having proprietary data makes the products better, means you get more customers, means you have more data, it's a flywheel. Exactly. Replicating Tesla's FSD capabilities requires a data flywheel, which requires the building and deployment of millions of vehicles to collect data. Close to impossible for others to do this. So how does anyone catch up? And this is an important question to ask. Try to answer this question. The answer, of course, is, well, if there was a company insane enough to be willing to invest tens of billions of dollars to produce vehicles covered in sensors at a much faster rate than Tesla and somehow be able to sell those to customers or just fund the whole thing themselves, it will take this company literal years just to get to 5 million vehicles on roads, which Tesla's already at, but Tesla's putting another 2+ million per year, and this is increasing enormously. So, I mean, it's damn near fucking impossible. Even if you go through the thought exercise, even if a company was insane enough to be willing to bankrupt themselves trying to catch up by spending tens of billions of dollars, physically executing this and actually building the products and putting them on roads, it's near impossible. Additionally, X's data stream of text, images, and video is what Tesla is missing from solving AGI entirely. So, both companies need each other. Something to ponder. Now again, it's certainly true that there are other companies that can produce excellent large language models by scraping portions of the internet. But guess what? They can't scrape X. So there's certainly going to be plenty of companies with excellent large language models, assuming they're not trained by woke faces. But in theory, if the woke mind virus didn't exist, there could be useful LLMs out there from many different companies. But a large language model can't be deployed in the physical world and interact with an environment in the real world. So in order for you to truly solve artificial general intelligence, you need these 2 pillars. You need real world, interact in the real world, move through the real world, and you need language. So the point, there are no companies today, other than Tesla, who have the foundational building block of real world artificial intelligence. None. Nor is it even slightly reasonable to imagine a company will be able to get to a point where Tesla is today, before Tesla is light years ahead in terms of capabilities. So the point, it is extremely clear right now that with the partnership between Tesla, X, and XAI, these 3 entities combined have the necessary ingredients to solving artificial general intelligence. So the question is, how would any other company on the planet, any other group of companies, catch up? And the answer is, I don't know. I actually can't think of a way that this would happen. I mean, I can imagine some scenarios, but they lead to companies going bankrupt, boards of directors saying, get fucked, you've gone crazy. Ultimately, I really do only see this ending one way. Of course, as we know, the opportunities with AI aren't in the hundreds of trillions of dollars, so who cares? We should ignore this opportunity anyway. Oh, well, by the way, just in case you forgot, Tesla is just a car company who strangely will potentially have more training compute than any other company on Earth a year from now. And that's not where this story ends. After posting this, a subscriber posted this. This does seem like a compelling argument, but must go through a formal Tesla board process and independent valuation. Now, in case you guys are listening audio only, that subscriber was Elon Musk, guy leading all 3 of these companies, Tesla, XAI, and X. And he is right. It is a compelling argument. Importantly, however, he does explain that it needs to go through formal Tesla board approval and an independent valuation for XAI. Again, to be clear, if Tesla were to invest a monetary amount into XAI, obviously, XAI would need to be independently valued. Tesla's board would need to approve, and so too would Tesla investors. So I was curious and asked, in principle, if you own Tesla stock, do you in principle support Tesla investing in XAI. Of the respondents, approximately 94% of people said yes. Now, if you're a little bit confused as to why I said 94 when on screen the number of respondents saying yes was 89.2, that's because I'm excluding the 5% of people who don't own Tesla stock or just wanted to see the results. Of the actual people who own Tesla stock who had an opinion yes or no, of them, close to 94% said yes. Of course, nearly everyone following my account is a retail investor, though obviously this is really a sampling of the opinion of retail investors. Almost 10,000 votes. I'm willing to bet that if you scaled this up to the opinion of literally every single retail Tesla stock investor, slightly less would be in favor, but the general trend, the vast majority would be in support. Of course, if you were to poll institutional investors, very different story. The good news is there would be some institutional investors out there, some, probably a minority, but some who would support this proposal in principle, and even better. As Tesla Boomer Mama points out, it's the ideal moment to do so, as retail investors are 44% of all investors in Tesla stock, and institutional investors are the other 44%, with the rest being insiders. So think about this. It's likely that practically all insiders would vote in favor of this. It makes sense. I mean, it's a compelling argument after all. The biggest insider of all literally just explaining its compelling argument. And if almost all retail investors are in support of this, you know what that means, right? It's extremely likely that more than half of all Tesla investors, insiders, retail, plus a few random institutional investors who actually get it, would vote in favor of this. Meaning, it seems pretty clear to me, based on this, that in principle, this deal will be approved. Of course, who knows about the board of directors? You'd hope that they're sharp enough to understand this makes sense, and I personally think that they would be. Thank no emotionally unstable investors / activists / money managers were able to force their way onto Tesla's board of directors. Wait, what? And now the question, how exactly would something like this work? I personally expect that Tesla would cough up a few $1 billion, maybe up to $5 billion. Let's just say somewhere in the vicinity of $2, $3, $4 to $5 billion. For a stake in XAI, let's just, I don't know, maybe 20, 25%. Again, it depends on the independent valuation. It could be a lot less, could be a little bit more. But let's just say Tesla chucks in, let's say $5 billion, nice round numbers. They chuck in $5 billion, they get a 25% stake in XAI. In exchange, XAI now has exclusive access to Tesla's proprietary data stream, and the two companies, plus the affiliation with X, as in formerly known as Twitter, together can co-develop artificial general intelligence. Tesla's vehicles can start using an audio interface with Grok, XAI's language model. The humanoid robot can implement Grok's language-based interface as well. Because obviously, if you've got a humanoid robot moving through the real world, great, but it needs to be able to speak, hear, listen, etc. Can't communicate otherwise. And collaboratively, these companies can work together to create incredible products with the proprietary data that no one else has access to, and potentially dominate winner takes most markets. And now, let's just imagine, years from now, that XAI alone has grown into a $1 trillion company. Of course, we heard previously about hundreds of trillions of dollars of potential market value, but let's just be conservative. If that were the case and Tesla owned a 25% stake, that would mean that Tesla's stake in XAI alone would be worth $250 billion. Imagine XAI grew to a $10 trillion company. Tesla's stake alone could be $2.5 trillion. Not too far off Apple's current market capitalization today, the entire company. So buckle up, folks, because at some point, this idea will be put to the Tesla board if it hasn't already. Spoiler alert, it probably has. Elon doesn't f*** around. And he wouldn't have been responding, suggesting that this needs to go to Tesla's board and saying that it makes sense in principle if he didn't intend on presenting the idea to Tesla's board. So, can't be too long before we hear more about this. And based on the results of this poll, again, we can extrapolate from this. It's extremely likely, unless there's some roadblock on the board itself, extremely likely that in principle, this deal will be approved. Just comes down to the numbers. I'll tell you what, man, the Tesla story just keeps getting better and better and better. Of course, with the AI mania in the stonk market right now, and investors widely ignoring the already obvious AI opportunities within Tesla, FSD, humanoid robot, and so on, could this be a catalyst if Tesla does invest into XAI? Where finally the people go, oh, XAI, oh, wait, what? Tesla's got AI, oh, I thought they were just a car company. Could this affect the valuation and the way investors see Tesla? I don't know the answer, but I can tell you, I'm not going to wait to find out. I'd rather continue to buy when I have available cash than sit on the sidelines. But hey, that's just me. In short, this is kind of a big deal. I recommend that you don't ignore it. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks, click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.